Welcome, everyone. This is Polyphenols, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin,
Hi.
Sanswinda,
Hello.
Guarendes,
Hello, everyone.
Calabathian,
I've been shot with the COVID vaccine.
and Krister.
Hello.
What was that? It's like Calabathian and Krister. Tell us how you really feel there, Pine.
That's pretty much how my name is typically said.
Let's head into the game news, though. I must say that there is not much this week, but we do have a small patch, 29.0.2, where they had on the classes the critical chance bonus for the Warden trait Bullseye now properly displays in the character panel. And I'm trying to say, what is the Warden trait Bullseye? That shows you how much. I assume that must be a yellow line one. That must be a yellow line trait. Tells you how much I've been paying attention to those.
And
adventure.
How many Wardens have you played?
Enough that you would think that I would know the name of all the traits, but apparently I don't. On quests and adventure areas, travel routes in Lothlorien function as expected again. What was happening in Lothlorien?
I don't know.
That's what I was wondering.
I saw one of Cinder's stable horses run in a complete circle before figuring out where it was going, though. But that was not in Lothlorien, so I have no idea what was happening in Lothlorien.
It wasn't in Moria, was it? Because that's normal in Moria.
No, it wasn't in Moria either. It was in the where were we? North Downs, heading out towards Othrakar. Out of Estelden.
Oh my!
Yeah, it was kind of funny. She's like, "Look at this! Do you see this?" And then her whole computer hiccuped for a couple of seconds, and then it figured out what it was doing and kept going. But
okay. For the instance, Narhel the Red Maid, door mechanics have been reworked so that players are less likely to get the boss into an unrecoverable state.
Isn't the point of defeating a boss to get them into an unrecoverable state?
Well, I think they probably meant the little question marks over the head type of unrecoverable state.
Okay, because I was like, yeah, but
you want the defeat to count as an unrecoverable state.
Yes. Okay.
And for the instance, Woe of the Willow, Gulmoog's Damp Mode now casts Corrupted Pool quicker, applying a debuff with a countdown and a yellow eye effect on players. Well,
interesting. I don't know what a yellow eye effect is other than jaundice.
Well, that I'm not exactly sure what I don't know if this is something that's only in the higher player accounts too, because I think I've only played that one solo so far. As for known issues, there's a known issue that if the fight resets in the instance boss from the vaults, Narhel the Red Maid, while the door does open, it will appear to remain closed.
So
there's apparently an illusionary door that stays there closed.
I'm like, so do you walk through it? I mean, what?
I guess you walk through the door.
I mean, if the fight resets.
Oh my goodness. The weird walls from the moors are spreading.
Yes.
It's Sauron, obviously.
Well, you know how Sauron is.
He likes those weird walls.
Apparently so.
Well, I mean, have you been to Minas Morgul lately?
No, I haven't been to Minas Morgul. Well, I was outside on my hobby horse with Gandalf and Aragorn at one point, but I haven't actually been inside yet.
That almost sounds like a story you tell cops as an excuse. I was on my hobby horse with Gandalf, and yeah, turn around.
See that line?
You have the right to remain silent. And I suggest
Please! This week, because of the Easter break on that, there was no LOTRO beacon. So we'll hope that the LOTRO beacon will return next week. But of course, we still have store sales. And Terry, what was on sale this week?
Crafting junk.
No.
Let's see. The weekly coupon is a landscape soldier token with coupon code Helping Hand now through April 8th. I don't need any of those because you know what? You know where you can't use your landscape soldier? In all of the solo instances where you can't bring friends either.
Where I was about to say on the landscape?
Where it would be really useful to have like extra help. No, you can't use your landscape soldier. Yeah, and then 20% off crafting junk. You get crafting guild access, ingredient packs, crafting accelerators, rapid craft, crafting tiers, and recipe books. Blah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yes. Then let's head over into our weekend gaming. And Kilopathian, what were you up to?
Oh crap! I was first. I forgot.
You said, what about everything else? Yeah. That's just how quiet a week it was.
I went on Celeborn. I went festivaling for crystals, and I did in and ale league runs, and I was chasing chickens. Okay, not the last one. I did try it, but I found that if you don't finish that particular quest and you try to come back another time to do it, or any other festival stuff like the next day, you actually don't have 2 of the quests show up unless you cancel it. Because so long as you have it, it cancels out these other 2 quests that you could do. I think one of them is the signposts, and the other is finding the elves. And once you cancel the chicken one that you didn't finish, then those 2 immediately come back up and you can do them. I don't know why the other timed ones, I don't know, maybe they do, but yeah, I was actually trying to chase. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just going to say they were assuming that you actually chased the chickens out of the maze and weren't going to be back for a while.
Yeah, and it does run for a while, but when I did try to do the chicken one, I caught one because I ran, literally tripped over it, and I was like, click! But there were so many people in the maze that they wiped all the chickens out. And I'm like, I did 3 loops around that thing, just vroom, 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 trying to find a chicken, and there were no chickens. And I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm tired. I'd had 5 hours of sleep that day, and I was like, okay, I'll come back to it later.
Them chickens can make a break for it.
Yeah. Except they couldn't because there were no chickens. I'm like, that message that you get about the chickens have escaped the maze. No, they haven't, because there are no chickens left. But yeah, so I found that out. But Mr. Crack Boom, my RK, he leveled up to 40 for Tuesday night runs. He was only 26 or so when I started. So that's kind of an accomplishment, and I had to have some help getting him the last few levels because stuff was going on. But yeah, I did get him up there, and so that was good. Now on Tuesday nights, I probably need another level or 2 to but he's at least level 40, so he's not whenever I have time, I'll try to do that and catch up a little bit. The Academy returned to Nunwathrin on Friday. My lore master had to use her high elf res twice. I thought it was the LM res, and everyone was like, smoke him to life. And I was like, I don't have a pipe, skill. And so, but I did have the high elf res one. So I used it, and then 30 minutes later, like almost on the dot, it was actually a little bit less than 30 minutes later, I wound up having to use it again on the same character, but that's okay. Little Sizzler, the anniversary pig, the one with the fireworks, helped make the whole trip spectacularly scenic with all those fireworks, because that is my LM's anniversary fireworks pig's name is Little Sizzler. And then in ESO, we had a Khajiit Pride that we ran on there, and I'm not quite sure what to call them, because there's like 3 of them, and it's like, what is a collection of Khajiit anyway? Other than a source of decimation with tails, kind of like having more than one cat offline. That's decimation with tails. It's like some people want to say it's a clouder, but it's rampant destruction is what it is. So I have 2. I know this. Add another one, and it's just, yeah. So I don't even know quite what to call a grouping of Khajiit, but my Nightblade, and let's see, I think that we had a Nightblade, and what else? Terry, what was yours?
Sorcerer,
and then a
I think was a warden with a bear.
Warden with a bear. We 3 Khajiit of no. We kind of ran around and did stuff, and that was kind of fun. So yeah, that was kind of my week, trying to figure stuff out. But Krister, how about you?
Well, Calabathian, I'm thrilled you've asked. From the same minds that brought you Uncle Drunky's Bargain Basement Beer Barrel Burrows and Isengard Breweries, where the motto is, it's the water. Okay, it's the Bits event too. We are proud to showcase our latest offer. Any self-respecting hobbit knows that to wear shoes is a big fashion no-no. However, now I have an exciting new product offer that will make your hairy feet say yes, yes. Shoes. Foul products made for big stupid folk with weak, bald feet have no place in decent hobbit society. That is why I am sure you will be proud of donning the newest wonder for hobbit feet. Footcoats. Yes, that's right. Footcoats. Who needs a measly sock or a clog crafted by a loon? You'd sooner stick your foot into the maw of Sauron himself. But with Footcoats, you'll be the toast of the burrow. Imagine the looks you'll get when you stride into the local pie shop, your feet enveloped in footcoats. Will it be a pair of little dwarves, your own hair sticking through to provide their tiny beards? Or perhaps a lathe bear and a squirrel? No one will dare oppose you when you go for that final slice. Footcoats. Yes, my friends, you heard it here first. Footcoats. Don't be left behind. Order your pair of footcoats today. Disclaimer. Snapping fingers does not make footcoats appear. Will cause extreme injury or death if applied to any other part of the body. How many can I sign you up for, Calabathian?
I don't know, man, but I know that the hobbits that I played, their little hairy toes are tingling at the very thought.
This all spawned, I have a kinmate named Footnote, and I was trying to insult him by making a name up, and I came up with Footcoat. And I thought it was such a brilliant thing. I just had to run with it. So I apologize for inflicting that upon you guys, but I couldn't resist.
Okay, but speaking of hairy stuff like that, is anyone else bothered by how Dwalin wears his beard tucked into his belt, and it kind of looks like he's got a white jockstrap on over his pants? Have you ever noticed that?
It's one of those awkward moments where the grandson is bringing his dwarven grandfather in, and the banker's like, son, he's wearing his jockstrap on the outside of his pants. I know, I can't stop him.
Just, I've noticed that, and I was like, what? That looks wrong. But yes, since we were on the topic of
things you cannot unsee in LOTRO.
Yes.
So besides my advertisement, I went to, in non-LOTRO, I checked out Valheim. I'd been hearing a lot of people talking about that. And Haven't played it too much yet, but it's interesting, kind of an interesting survival crafting game. And then, of course, as I've probably stated every single time for quite a while now, Remerchant. Slowly but surely, everybody in our kin is getting equipped, but we're running it over and over and over again. And recently, and I think, Calabath, you were mentioning stuff about a res earlier. I just wanted to point out that I've been quite arrogant with my high elf champ, and that when I actually conduct a res, because, of course, as we all know, champs don't res, but my champ reses. So he basically makes sure that you understand the miracle that just occurred when he reses you. Do you understand? Look at me. Look at the class I am. Aren't you impressed? This shouldn't happen, but yet I'm here and I resed you. Of course, I get kicked out of a lot of groups when I start talking like that. So
I could just imagine.
And Where? How was your week?
Well, I did a bit more festivaling. That was accomplished in LOTRO. And Thursday evening, I had a lot of fun. I caught music at the Pony. There was a bit of a small round robin of different people that I knew. And then we all went down to Breetown Hall to listen to Calabogue Sound play. And that was a lot of fun. They do a really good job. And they seem to be there most Thursdays these days. So if you're on Landerwald around 8 o'clock, you might wander by the town hall out front there. Ignore the housing broker that is hawking her spiel, and come join the party. It's a lot of fun. I also made a surprising discovery in Bree. Has anybody actually taken time to wander around Bree in the last week or so since the patch?
No.
No.
You can go into the Dwarven Enclave now. Yes.
Dun, dun, dun!
The gates are open. You can saunter right in, look and wonder at the fountain. Watch the guys playing dice there also. But yes, the Dwarven Enclave is now open in Bree.
I was gonna ask you, 8 p.m. is that game time?
Server time, yes.
Server time? Okay, continue.
Yes. In ESO, the Shiny Duo has started doing Undaunted Daily Delves. I just realized how alliterative that was. And they're about 270, 280 champion point range. So 300 champion points or bust. Because from what I understand, that's like enough to actually be able to equip a lot of the stuff you would want anyway. Although it is feeling rather marvelous the higher that those champion points go up. Also in ESO, I decided I needed another free in-room yesterday afternoon, and now I have a level 16 Stamden. That's like in 24 hours time. I've leveled it to 16, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I understand why Warden can be so much fun, although it's a wood elf, and I decided to play a male character for once. Nobody told me that the wood elves evidently are dimorphic in their body types, because the male elf, he's so short, the top of his head might brush Lyris's armpit doing the main quest. I mean, he kicks Tuckus and takes names, but he tiny.
How do you compare to Lyris?
Well, even my Red Guard came up to the over the top of her shoulder. I mean, it's like she could put her arm straight out and he wouldn't brush. It's like I've made the Prince of Wood Elves, a prince as in the artist formerly known as a stamina warden in ESO. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. So Sans, what did you get up to this week?
Well, I started the week with an unplanned trip to the war zone with Finnear, who was on and killing some roving warband type things there. And I was like, sure, I'd be happy to come help kill some of those. I've wanted to ever since we accidentally attacked that warg. And so Keith Cinder's Finneor and I brought vengeance to all of the roving warband threat things there, which was fun. And then I finished some other daily quests that I'd started a while back. And then Finneor, Cinders, and I did some of the new instances, and they were really interesting. And one of them, Finn's like, these guys, they just talk forever. It's going to be like 10 minutes. You can just keep going. And I'm like, but I want to hear what they're saying. This is interesting. So, we're going back sometime, Terry and Pine. You don't know this yet, though. So you are now on notice. We're going to go listen to the whole thing once. But it was interesting. It was fun. Nobody got swept off the boat. And it was cool. And then we did not get lost in the woods either, because Finn knew where he was going and led us to the places that we needed to go. So it was pretty cool. And then Cinders and Key have been running their Guardians through in an Ale League dailies, and I took my Hunter along a couple times for Hunter ports, but realized I was probably actually slowing them down. So I grabbed an Arya Guardian, and we had a 3 Guardian in an Ale League run, and Acorn Management is a thing. But it was a lot of fun, and it was pretty fast. And I think with a little more optimization, we could be really fast, but we'd have to plan a little bit. I don't know if we'd have to count like the planning time into our time or not, but it was pretty cool. And finished cleaning up in Nan Wathrin on the field trip. And Pineleaf leveled up enough to use the campfire that we had set, which came in really handy. So, yeah, that was pretty fun though. Just running through there and killing anything we saw, basically.
Oh, I thought you meant, because of course it's so confusing in this game, I thought you might meant that you guys actually were commanded to clean things up in Nan Wathrin. Go scrub those tables. Grab that pot.
We did have to go, like, burn all the warg food barrels, so, you know, there was some cleaning.
We had to dismantle some siege weaponry. They kind of put up these tactless altars around, and we had to take those down. So, like, there was some actual cleaning, and then there was some just, like, sending everybody home cleaning. So, yeah, it was pretty fun, though. Definitely enjoying my Bjorning in that area. But looking forward to having a res, because that would be useful. And I played some Minecraft and Dragon's Quest Builders 2 with my nephew. And that was pretty much what I did this week, besides being pranked by a 10-year-old. So, it was fun. Terry, how was your week?
My week involved a lot of napping, actually, and less gaming. But I got missions. So many missions. So tired of missions. I love that they instituted the additional step of 45 missions a week on top of 15 missions a week. But it means that I have to do 3 times as many missions. So so many missions. And yes, technically there are 18 missions a day available. I don't actually want to run all 18 of those missions every single day. For one, a lot of the Wildwood ones, while they can be entertaining, are also a lot more time consuming than the ones out of Elderslade, because you have to click on things, and if you are not bringing second pair of hands to do the clicking on things, while you yourself are doing the slaying of things, which is the fun part, for me anyway, it's time consuming. So I try not to do more than like 3 or 4 of the Wildwood missions, and I make up for it in picking and choosing among the Elderslade missions, because I don't really like all of those either. Like anything that involves going into that troll area, I will skip it. Anything that involves going into Cindergrot, I will skip it. Going into the Glimmerdeep, I will skip it, because I hate those areas. It's not so much that I hate those areas, it's that, again, you're either A, clicking on things, or B, you're dealing with really annoying mobs. And by the way, while we're talking about missions, let's talk about this Gate Captain mission, because I'm really done with that Gate Captain mission, mostly because I can kill him in about 4 seconds, depending on how long it takes for me to draw him past the nasty pile of I just blew up the gate and I can't go there because I'll get blown up for the next I don't know, 40 or 50 seconds. So, I shoot him from the other side of it, and I make him come through it to me, and then I hack him, and then I sit there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, because the mission reward box spawns in the center of that mess. And I have just spent a bunch of time not getting blown up. I really don't want to get blown up to get my mission reward.
Are those two marks going to be worth the trouble? Why not just leave instance if you don't care about them?
It's the principle of the thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, no, in the grand scheme of things, 2 or 3 Gabalaka marks, when I'm getting way too many Gabalaka marks anyway, are not really. But the point is, why is the box even there? I mean, could we not shift it over to the side just enough to clear that? Because the area where the bomb is never going to change, because you have to put those 2 explosive barrels in the same spot every time. So that spot is clearly defined. Why can we not shift the reward box just a little bit out of the way so that you don't have to blow yourself up trying to get your mission rewards? It's just irritating.
Maybe it's kind of a representation of the philosophy of no pain, no gain.
I guess. I mean, I spent enough time trying to avoid getting blown up in missions. Not that it really bothers me, because I've taken on 3 or 4 sappers and lived to tell about it, usually swearing at them in the process, because the knockback, it's not so much the burning that you can't pot off, but you have to basically just time it out. It's the knockback, which has not yet thrown me off a bridge in Sundergrot, but I'm waiting. That's why I don't do those missions anymore, because it was tempting fate every time I did one of those. So, yeah. But I am 4 shards away. Well, technically, I'm 3 shards away from getting the pocket. Because my my Minnesithal cook, because Terry doesn't do crafting up at the Minnesithal level, but I have a cook who's fully gilded who has the recipe because she bartered for it. Because, the recipe's not bind. It's bind to account, but he's on the account, so she sent it to him. So I have a level 80-something cook who can craft the Elder Slade supply packs that Terry can then use once we actually have enough of them. So I'm 3 shards away from the pocket. So next week, provided I finish all 45 missions next week. Yeah, and then in ESO, I realized my questing has been all over the place on all of my characters, so I've been trying to be more focused. But in trying to be more focused, I still ended up all over the place. I'm not 100% sure how that happens. And Calabathian mentioned that Pineleaf and I were joining her with our Khajiit. We were in Elden Route, which is like a starter area thing for the Aldmeri Dominion, which I had never done before. And I don't know that Pineleaf has ever done that area before. And I know Calabathian hasn't, because she only just started the game. But it's because when I made my Khajiit, I wasn't paying attention to what alliance I set her at. And I forgot to change it, because I have the any race, any alliance upgrade, so I can make any race to any alliance, and Daggerfall was the default. But most of my characters are Daggerfall anyway, so I wanted to put her in the proper alliance. So I bought the thing and went back and updated her to the Aldmeri Dominion, and when I logged her in, that was where I landed, was right there in the Tree City of Elden Root, where the Aldmeri Queen apparently decided to set up shop.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why they sent you, because that looks like something that was added later on, because I had once did an Aldmeri character, and I was sent through southern, a small part of Elsewhere is where you started. Then I was set to the Somerset Isles, and
I was going to say
that was added later.
I thought that was maybe about the 3rd zone, or
yeah, I don't
zone
know,
of that.
but We
Yeah.
hadn't done
Because I
it,
thought
so I was like,
Canarthy's Roost was the beginning of Aldmeri.
Yeah, something like that.
so then I was trying to keep us all focused and on task, but we did get a little bit distracted for one of the sky shards, and then they sent us out to gather things, and so we ended up over in Haven, and I was like, oh yeah, wasn't Haven under attack by pirates, which is the whole reason why we had to go talk to the king. So yeah, we started kind of back to the beginning of the zone, backwards, but it was fun. A lot of death and destruction. The the three of us are a force to be reckoned with tails. Um, and then I also, because the previous week, which I didn't talk about because I wasn't here, but I I didn't quite completionist Cold Harbor on Terry but I got as close as humanly possible for me, which means I finished the Sky Shards, which means that on my Kashyyyk character, I was able to purchase the Cold Harbor Sky Shards, and I don't actually have to go find the Cold Harbor Sky Shards on that character. And it was worth every single one of those 800 crowns that I spent for those 5 skill points that I will not have to scavenge around Cold Harbor for.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Guarandus and Lurinoi, because they helped me with the dungeon, which got me the final Sky Shard I needed. And then on our Civ 6 weekly Friday game, resulted in Japan losing to Rome, because he was up in the corner and we were doing fine, and then he dropped the city too close to me, and I decided I didn't like it, and I, right before we closed the game out last Friday, I had been perfectly positioned with all of my troops on his borders to go in and wreak mayhem, and then my game crashed loading in this week. So everybody took their turns, and then the AI took my turn. So when I finally got back into the game, I discovered that the AI had helpfully moved all of my troops 50,000 leagues away from where they were. Like, everybody was going to the farthest flung corners of the map and nowhere near Japan. So it took me like 10 turns to get everybody back where they were supposed to be. And then I promptly stomped all over Japan. And I left. You have to keep the capital. They don't let you raise it to the ground. So I kept it, and I renamed it Petting Zoo, because in the midst of my preparations for war on Japan, I founded a religion, and I was looking at all of the little religion icons, and there's one that's a butterfly. And so I picked the butterfly, and then they promptly named it Pacifism. So warmongering Rome has the religion pacifism, and then I renamed my cities to Fluffy Bunnies and Pretty Butterflies, and then Kyoto became Petting Zoo.
Ooh, I like thinking about the complexities of that too, where you guys say you're pacifists, but you're totally warlike. So, like the somebody, the citizens, like, why are you invading our home? And the guy's like, I'm not doing it. We are. I'm against this war, but we are going to conquer your city. So sorry.
Yeah, and so then I was looking at the other continent where I don't have a presence, but half of our, friends are over there, and they're not real keen on starting a war with England, who, Vicky's been a thorn in our side, kind of poking at several of us. She hasn't yet demanded anything from me, but she's demanded things from some of my other allies, and so I was looking at where I was going to put a city to set up my base to go take out England. And then we know that Cleopatra is our third AI, but we haven't found her yet. So I don't know. It's a coin toss as to whether I'll stomp all over England or whether we'll just outculture her. Pineleaf, how was your week?
Right, I will begin with my honor warden, who headed up to the Ramus Wall, where I was helping them with the outer defenses. And then after that, headed out to help the farmers out in Krethos and taking care of all of that. So pretty much getting near the end of the content for that area, though I'm hoping that sometime in April we'll be seeing the next region open up for the Riders of Rohan. I believe that they did say it was expected in April, so I am hoping they'll be accurate. My guess is it'll be around the time that the anniversary starts is when they're going to open that up, but we'll see. And my low-level character on Crick Hollow, the low-level warden there, finished up questing in the Wildwood. All right, finished up as much questing as I could do in the Wildwood because there is that bugged quest with that ent that I can't finish because he phased out of it. But I think there was just after that quest, I think there was just a capstone instance in there that I'm probably never going to be able to do then. But actually, no, I'll be doing it with Terry and Sans when we finish at the Wildwood, since we did manage to get that quest done without getting it bugged out, fortunately, on those characters. But anyway, so I've finished up what I'm doing on my Crick Hollow Warden there. Then for board games, I received my long-awaited copy of Commands and Colors Samurai Battles. So I was spending much of the week playing some battles out between the various factions, between the various clans in 16th century Japan, and seeing how the various wars going on there were fought. And that is it for my weekend gaming. So listen to our donations. For our top supporter this month is LOTRObuild.com. This is a collection of full LOTRO databases, including an items database, a relics database, and a titles database. Also, you can use it right from your Discord server using LOTRO Build Bot. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@LOTROplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, Players Alliance @Players Ally, LOTRO Players @LOTRO Players, Arendis @Arendis, Punleaf @Punleaf, Neil Senswinda @Senswinda, Terry Edwin @Terry Edwin, Quarendis @Quarendis, Calabathian @Calabathian, and you can reach Krister on Koklakoma pound 6967 on Discord.
It threw you that I actually had something in my context, didn't it, finally?
Oh, I was trying to read that. What the? The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Punleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.